Hello everyone, today we are going to learn linear equations. And linear equations, I have already touched a little bit of it. It will be a two-part sequence hopefully. If required, I'll do more parts. But in the first part, let's just quickly learn linear equations in one variable. And then we will learn some of the problems. And I think linear equations are one of the simplest, easiest, chapters of algebra and with huge application. So first of all, let's understand what is linear equation in one variable. Obviously, one variable, when we say that, it means that it will not have both x, y, or the equation will not have x, y, z. First of all, it will only have one variable, either x, either y, either z. Now, because it is a linear equation, the power of the variable will be 1. So in linear equations, the power of the variable is 1. Okay. It cannot be x square. If it is x square, it is not a linear equation. So understand this first. Now that the definition is clear, let's take an example. So a linear equation with one variable could be 2x plus 5 equal to 7. 3y plus 2 by 5 equal to 8. 1. 3y equal to 7 plus y. This is also linear equation with one variable because the variable is only one, which is y, right? And the moment we move the variable from this side to this side, it will become 2y equal to 7. So that's the final equation. So all these kind of equations where we see that the power is 1, okay, on the variable, and there is only one variable. So in this equation the variable is x, in this equation the variable is y, in this equation the variable is y. So that's linear equation in one variable. I could not have explained it more simply. Now let's get into a few problems. See, I love doing problems on linear equations and algebra because one, they are easy, and number two, they're really interesting because it is not the problem but basically the logic. The logical sequencing is far more interesting than the problem itself. Let's see. Bansi has 3 times as many 2 rupee coins as he has 5 rupee coins. So let's say, so one thing is clear that Bansi has 2 rupee coins and 5 rupee coins. Now let's say he has x number of 5 rupee coins. Therefore he has 3 times, right, of this number 2 rupee coins. So his 2 rupee coins are 3x, right? And in total he has 77 rupees, right? So what is the value of these coins, these 2 rupee coins? Number is 3x and the value is 2, plus 5 rupee coins. The value of one 5 rupee coin is 5, but he has x number of 5 rupee coins and the total value is 77. This is 6x plus 5x equal to 77, 11x equal to 77. So x equal to 7. So basically he has 7 number of 5 rupee coins and 21 number of 2 rupee coins. Now the best part of algebra is that once you have solved it, you can always check it, right? So let's check if our answer is right or wrong. So 21 into 2 is 42 rupees and 7 into 5 is 35 rupees. Let's quickly add and see that, oh yes, the total is 77, which means our calculation is right. So during the examination or right after you solve it, you should be able to know if you've solved it correctly or not. Let's move on. Sum of 3 consecutive multiples of 11 is 363. Find these multiples. Okay, so they could be, let's say, nth multiple, n plus first multiple, and n plus second multiple, right? 3 consecutive, let's say the first multiple is the nth multiple. So 11 into n will be the first number, 11 into n plus 1 will be the second number, 11 into n plus 2 will be the third number. We add all of them and this should be equal to 363. When we start to solve it, I will get 33n plus 3 equal to 363, and then I will get 33n equal to 360. Cool. And then I will get n equal to 360 by 33. Let's see what this number is. 120 by 11. Now I'm not getting a whole number, which means I might have made a mistake. And yes, I have made a mistake in calculation. It clearly tells me that I cannot be talking about a fraction multiple. It has to be a whole number or a natural number, right? So see, that's the best part of algebra, is that during solving the problem you should be able to identify where the error is. Actually, in opening it, I made an error. It is 11n plus 11n plus 11 and then 11n plus 22. Instead, I opened it with 1 and 2. That was the mistake. So it will be 33n plus 33 equal to 363. Now you can solve it and you will get exact answer. You will get 33n equal to 330 and n will be equal to 10. So this will be 10, this will be 11, this will be 12. Multiply them by 11, 11 and 11. You will get your numbers as 110, 121 and 132. These are the numbers. You can add them. 3, 2, 5, 1, 6 and 3. See, it is 363. Got it? Let's move on to the next one. Cool. We will use some ratios also. Difference between two whole numbers is 66 and the ratio of the two whole numbers is this. Very simple. Let's say if the ratio of the two whole numbers is 2 by 5, we can say that the common rational factor is x, and therefore the smaller whole number will be 2 into x and the larger whole number will be 5 into x. We can say that because x and x will get cancelled. That's how we arrived at the ratio 2:5. So we can say that the smaller whole number is 2x and the larger whole number is 5x and their difference is 3x, which is nothing but 66. Therefore x is equal to 22. Therefore the smaller whole number is 2 into x, which is 44, and this is 5 into x, which is 110. And then you can subtract and see that, oh yeah, indeed the difference is 66. Therefore my calculation is right. Moving on. Cool. Similar kind of a question. Once again, instead of two type of coins, 2 rupee coins and 5 rupee coins, what is given here is that somebody has 590 rupees and notes of 50 rupees, 20 rupees and 10 rupees, and the ratio of the number of notes of 50 rupees and is itna. So once again you will say 3x number of itna notes, 5x number of 20 rupees notes, right? And the remainder notes will be 10 rupees notes, and then just add everything and put it equal to 590. You will get the answer. So that will be all in the first part of linear equation. I hope you enjoyed it, and if you did, then give it a thumbs up and share it with students who you feel might be benefited. Thank you.